Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hello there. Yes, you would have heard my test. But I was just making sure my mic was on so you could see me. Well, Eamon, I'm pleased to see that you are sitting on the live, that you got so excited that you had to jump straight on. Because obviously you put that I was a tease. I do think that this is the way to go, though, in terms of having sort of like, when cinemas have commercials on before the movie. I think maybe I should do this a little bit more to give more people a chance to jump onto the live. Because sometimes the stories only last like 8 minutes or something. And by time I've gone live, most of the audience are like, oh, Facebook's just notified me that you've went live. And then they end up joining late. So, yesterday, we read the story. It was about more snakes, wasn't it? Yeah, the white snake, about the king who used to eat snakes and talk to the animals and knew everything that was going on around the the country, so to speak. And was it his servant? It was his servant. But you know what? My mind's a blank. I can't actually remember the story. Ravens? Oh yes, that was it. He could hear them. So you had the three ravens that he fed a dead. He killed his horse and fed his horse to the ravens, which anyone in their sane mind wouldn't have fed the ravens their only mode of transport. But okay, this is a story. It's not real, so there we go. We can take that out into the void. And then you had there was the ravens, there was the fish who brought up the ring, and then there was a third set of ants who went and put all of the rice back into the bags for him. Well, today it's a relatively short one, which it's not too bad, to be honest, because we're getting through the stories, and the stories are good. But then there are some long ones, or longer ones, and then there are some short ones. Now, this isn't massively short, but it's a lot shorter than what we have had. This one is called The Straw, The Coal, and The Bean. And again, disclaimer, I have never read any of these prior to this live, so if I do make any mistakes, then it's obviously a live read. I haven't done it pre-recorded, so it's not edited for you to see. Now, just make sure that I am live everywhere. Yeah, Facebook page, Facebook business page. Yeah, I was going to say eBay there. I'm not. How could I be live on eBay? Live on YouTube as well. Okay, I have to apologise. Been one of those tongue twistery days for me today. Do like, share, and subscribe, and do let everybody know that they can enjoy these just as much. And this is story number 18. 18 days. Well, technically it's 17 days straight I've been doing it. Well, no, it would be 18. Technically it should be 19 today, but I took one day out 2 days ago. Anyway, on to the story, which is why you're here. The Straw, the Coal, and the Bean. In a village dwelt a poor old woman, who had gathered together a dish of beans and wanted to cook them. So she made a fire on her hearth, and so that it might burn quicker, she lighted it with a handful of straw. When she was emptying the beans into a pan, one dropped without her observing it, and lay on the ground beside a straw, and soon afterwards a burning coal from the fire leapt down to the two. Then the straw began to say, "Dear friends, from where do you come here?" From where do you come here? The coal replies, "I fortunately sprang out of the fire, and if I had not escaped by main force, my death would have been certain. I should have been burnt to ashes." The bean said, I too have escaped with a whole skin. But if the old woman had got me into the pan, I should have been made into broth without any mercy, like my comrades. And would be better, and would a better fate have fallen for my lot? Said the straw. Sorry. And would a better fate have fallen for my lot? Said the straw. The old woman has destroyed all my brethren in fire and smoke. She seized 60 of them at once and took their lives. I luckily slipped through her fingers. But what are we to do now? Said the coal. I think, answered the bean, that as we have so fortunately escaped death, we should keep together like good companions, and lest a new misfortune should overtake us here, we should go away together to a foreign country. The proposition pleased the other two, and they set out on their way in company. Soon, however, they came to a little brook, and as there was no bridge or footplank, they did not know how they were going to get over it. I'll leave the comments till the end. They did not know how they were going to get over it. The straw hit on a good idea and said, I will lay myself straight across, and then you can walk over me as a bridge. The straw therefore stretched itself from one bank to the other, and the coal, who was of an impetuous disposition, tripped quite boldly on the newly built bridge. But when she had reached the middle, and heard the water rushing beneath, she was, after all, afraid, and stood still, and ventured no further. The straw, however, began to burn, broke into 2 pieces, and fell into the stream. The coal slipped after her, hissed when she got into the water, and breathed her last. The bean, who had prudently stayed behind on the shore, could not but laugh at the event, was unable to stop, and laughed so heartily that she burst. It would have been all over for her, likewise, if by good fortune a tailor was travelling in search of work. He had not. Whoa, 1 second. It would have been all over for her, likewise, if by good fortune a tailor who was travelling in search of work had not sat down to rest by the brook. As he had a compassionate heart, he pulled out his needle and thread and sewed her together. The bean thanked him most prettily, but as the tailor used black thread, all beans since then have been a black seam. The bean thanked him most prettily, but as the tailor used black thread, all beans since then have been a black seam. So I'm guessing this is sort of like where black-eyed peas come from. Or that's what it's claiming. The story, obviously, yes, it's a story, it's nothing more. Makes me wonder, how did the coal, the hay, and the bean talk? They have no mouths. More to the point, how did they walk? And why was the coal still on fire? If it had got out of the fire before it was set alight. Don't shoot the messenger. However, that was the straw, the coal, and the bean, with no obvious reasoning behind it. Or, well, yeah, it was. Let me know what you thought. Like, share, subscribe, and if you're watching on YouTube, please do click that bell notification icon. And do comment on the video, please, and let me know what your thoughts were. And for those that do join in a little bit later, I am not live right now. This is a video. So, unfortunately, unless I'm actually looking at the video comments, it's unlikely I'll respond in real time. Sorry. Right, I'm off now to go and stargaze for a little bit. Enjoy the rest of your evening, everybody. And tomorrow's story will be The Fisherman and His Wife. If it's anything like today to go by, then I think we're in for a wild ride. Take care, enjoy the rest of your night, and be safe.